Onegaishimasu. Welcome. All right, I hope everybody is safe and doing well. We are working on Kumite. Okay, so we're going to try to build up some of our skills. Now, I'm not going to throw a ton of things at you, but one or two things that you can practice in your dojo or practice at home and build your skill up, okay? The one thing I want you to understand is kata and kumite need to be balanced because you can't strengthen one without the other, okay? It's really important, especially if you want to increase your skill when you're practicing bunkai, okay? So what we're gonna do is just take a couple things and then on my next video, we'll just keep adding them and you can keep implementing them into your training. Okay, so remember, balance is important. Make sure you're practicing your kumite as well as you're practicing your kata. Okay. One other key point: we wouldn't practice kata every single day, start to finish, over and over and over. Okay. Once we've learned kata, in order to strengthen our kata, we have to break it down into pieces so we can build it up, make it strong. Well, that's what we want to do with our kumite. Okay. So here we go. Hey, let's get. All right. Right from here, we're just going to go into our heikodachi. And we're going to work on a little bit of tai sobaki. Now this first drill, what we're going to do is we're going to step off. So you can use your right foot and you can mirror me. We're going to step off on a 45-degree angle, okay? And what we're going to do is use our hips to pull our opposite leg into line. So we'll be on a 90-degree line facing, this would be your left side, okay? So just hands on the hips. So this is going 45 out here and shift and pull. So now I'm facing this way, okay? And now I want you to go back opposite side and back in here, all right? So now we're gonna work the opposite leg, 45, and shift this way and come on back. So the way we're gonna do this is when we step out, we're gonna step aggressive. We're gonna have violent hip movement, pow, we're gonna pop. But when we come back, we're gonna be gentle, okay? So we're gonna work our go and our ju. All right, so hands on the hips and stepping out each here and coming back and coming up so it and come back here and ready side shift and come back here and ready shift come and back in here and relax for a minute. What I want you to do is pause the video and I want you to do 20, 40, 100 reps of that shift. Remember, a 45-degree angle, using your hips to pull that back leg around, okay? All right, next part, we're gonna add kisamizuki. So from this position, heikodachi, hands are up. We're gonna shift on that 45. So as this foot comes out, and I'm using my hip motion here to pull this back leg in, we're going to jab. So we are going to use the rotation from our hips to increase the power of our jab. Now keep in mind, if I'm shifting and hitting as somebody's coming in, I'm coming off their center line, I'm also going to increase power by using their momentum against them. All right, so here we go. So I'm gonna stay a little closer. You don't have to really see my feet for this. Hands are up. So we shift out. You're going to go right side. I'm gonna use my left side. Okay, so shifting out and shift and hit. And then just come back gentle here. So we'll only attack on the aggressive step, right? Stepping out, knee, and back, and side, and back, and sheep, and back, and go, and back, and look. Notice my arms, not back to here, so I can defend, I can protect, I can block. Sichi, and back. Hachi, and back. Cool, and back. And jaw, and back. All right, shake them out for a minute. All right, what don't you do? Pause the video, run through that 20, 50, 100 times. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take that movement, okay, and we're going to change the angle. So rather than stepping 45 and turning my body on that 90-degree line where I'm facing the wall, that's a good drill for hips. What we're going to do is we are going to shift out 45 and just pull our back leg around. So now we're on a 45-degree angle this way. So we step 45 this way, but now we shift so we're facing 45 degree this way. I want you to imagine that someone's attacking you, And all you're doing is stepping off their center line and creating an angle so that they're coming into your technique. Because honestly, if I came out and went here, my punch would go in front of the person, okay? Or I would be catching them as their momentum's going by. I want that person to come right into my jab, okay? So from here, hands are up, shifting out 45 and punching on that 45 and right back. Knee, and right back. San, and right back. Shi, and right back. Go, and right back. Ro, and right back. Sich, and right back. Hach, and right back. Ko, and right back. And jo, and right back. All right, shake them out. All right, pause the video, work your reps. All right, so the next thing we have to think about is we're working from heikodachi. But you're not going to be standing heikodachi if you're sparring, okay? What you want to do is we're going to be in a good kamae position here. So this is going to be another class where we work on our movement here. But what I want you to do is think, okay, I'm out here and I'm sparring, I'm moving, okay? It's not a jump. Our feet aren't leaving the ground. We're just creating motion. That way we're not flat-footed and standing still, okay? This way our momentum's already moving. Someone attacks, we can move quickly. So if I'm in this position, I still shift out and turn my hips. So what we can do is you can practice from kamae position, shifting out and catching, right? So it's not as much as a heavy 45, but we're coming off that center line where the punch is coming and shifting our angle and catching with that jab. So what I want you to do is pause your video and work on that for a little bit. Get comfortable. Remember, everybody's kamae is different. It's built for your body, okay? All right. So we've worked on this 45-degree shift off of a center line. Now that's the beauty of Okinawan Karate, okay? You know, everybody seems to forget that once we really start to learn Bonkai, all of our movement is forward, all right? However, we are not linear fighters. We're not going to, you know, attack forward and then move backwards blocking this way. Okay, that's kind of silly. And unfortunately, you see a lot of that when people don't understand the concept of Kumite. So what I want you to do is think about it. Think about from your Bonkai, okay? When someone attacks straight line, we never come straight in at them. There's always some degree of angle that we're moving offline, and our blocking hand is pushing the attacking appendage offline, which creates that opening for us, and there's that momentum again. Kumite is just another way to practice our Bonkai, right? It's just more free form. Remember, when you're doing Bonkai, okay, there's some elements that you're missing, okay? The first thing is, you know what the attack is, okay? You're reacting to your partner's movement, but it's all prearranged, okay? And not that that's a bad thing, okay? It's a necessity to learn and train your body, that muscle memory. However, when you're sparring, it's a constant change in distance, timing, target areas. You know, I attack, they retreat. You know, they shift, I readjust. It's constantly moving, and that's something you can never learn by just doing Bonkai, okay? So that's why balance is important. And it's funny because when I used to compete, I would watch these guys, and some of the guys that would just do Kumite, that's all they were fighters, they were okay, and that's all they practiced, but they could have been so much better. And then there were the kata practitioners, and all they practiced was kata. They were okay, but as funny as the best fighters were always the top kata competitors. Think about this. If you have a strong kata, strong technique, sharp technique, well, that's how you're going to spar. If you have sloppy kata, you're not magically going to get better when you start sparring. No, they go hand in hand. That's where that balance is, okay? The other thing too is when you spar, you get a deeper understanding of what kata is, because What is kata? It's combat, right? This is budo, right? So just practicing form without the fight, it turns it into a dance rather than combat, and that's what we're here for. So enough of that, we're going to move on. So this is where it gets really cool, okay? We're gonna work on half step, okay? This was one of the first things I ever learned when I started to do a lot of Kumite, especially when I was doing some international stuff. Those guys were good. There weren't many linear fighters there, okay? Everybody knew how to shift. Everybody knew timing and how to half step and move, and it was pretty amazing. And just keep in mind, when you fight with people better than you, you get better, okay? But you have to do that. So our half step, okay, pretty simple. This is, here we go, ready? How do the kids do it? Right, mind blown, watch. All right, so, Gekusada Chikata, right? Onegaishimasu. We have an opening movement where we drop in and then we punch, right? Okay. If we take bonkai from that, okay? Simple bonkai, right? So from here, the person attacks Jodan. Here's my shift. Here's my counter. And then we draw back, which is cool. But here's the beauty of it. It doesn't always work that way. That works if my partner is taller than I am, because I'll be able to step through. But if my partner is my height or shorter, oh, there's no distancing there. So how do I change my distance? Half step. So from here, person attacks, I shift, my lead foot, I draw in 6, 8, 10 inches, whatever it is I need, and then I counter, and I come back. So here we go. Bonkai. Yes, bonkai is a necessity. Bonkai is a fundamental movement. And once you learn how to do your bonkai, start to apply it in kumite, okay? But you have to be able to do it when it's a random attack. You don't know when it's coming, okay? That's how you build your kumite, okay? And remember, there's a lot of different kinds of kumite, okay? We have, randori, really slow, okay? And you have to really think about where you're moving the technique, what's coming next. Be aware of your partner's entire body. We have jiu, it's a little bit softer. We have ippon kumite, that one step sparring I love, because one attack, one block, one counter. Okay, and what happens with that? You can make that look like bonkai. You can make that look like kumite movement. That's going to help you bring those two worlds together. And the final is irikumi, right? That continuous sparring, Okinawan free fighting. Okay, that's what we're building up to. All right, so this is how we're going to work our half step. From this position, we're going to drop back into hidari kamae. Okay, I'll go migi kamae, so I have my opposite side forward. Now, what we're going to do is our half step is that lead leg here. Okay, so what we're going to do is as we pull that foot here, and we're not going to do anything with the hands yet. We're just going to push and step through. And notice how I had a little slide? Give me a little more distance. Pull that foot, and then sliding through this way. Okay, so let me show you from a side position. If I'm in here, okay, if I was going to attack, okay, I'm here, and I step through to punch this way with oizuki, that person sees my body moving. So what do? They react by moving backwards or shifting, right? So what happens is when I do this, I pull that half step here, okay? It disguises the jab, which we're going to come to, disguises my foot movement. But now I'm going to be able to launch through. I'm going to be able to gain more distance, okay? You're pulling the foot back and you're loading that calf, and then you're pushing off. Okay, so let's put some hands into it, and let's discuss how to move. Okay, so the jab is the disguise. So right from here, we pull that foot here. This goes up to block vision, right here. And as I load, I pull through here. Okay, now I'm on the opposite side. So here and through here. Okay. One more. You can't see my feet, but you know what's happening. Lead foot draws in, here, step through, here, right? Okay, so half stepping is a way to, disguise your foot movement, right? Your jab is disguising that lead movement. Plus, imagine this, if someone jabs and they're way out of range, are you gonna think twice about it? Not really. That's not going to touch me. So I don't have to do anything. But the next thing you know, they're on top of you because what that jab did was disguise the foot movement and whew, they're coming through. All right, let's work that through a couple more times. All right, so Hidari, come on. So slowly, each and through, knee, and each, and knee, and each, and knee, and each, and knee, and back, and shake it out. All right, excellent. Stop the video, work on that half step. You can go with the feet, do that 50, 20, 100, whatever you want to do, and then add the hands in, okay? I want you to do it two ways, okay? This is like the taste test. You be the judge, okay? I want you to first jab, step through punch, right? And if you can, jab, step through punch, and then mark a spot on the floor. Then step back and then half step and drive through and see how much further you go past that spot. Because that's what we're doing, we're driving through that person, okay? So we have two drills. We went from a shift and hit to a disguise and half step, okay? So we're going to put those two movements together, okay? Imagine you're doing Kumite, you're sparring, okay? You're out there moving, here we go. All of a sudden, the attack comes, I shift and counter. Maybe they adjust, they block, and right from the jab, half step. Okay, so we'll come back in, here we go. It's shift and counter, pull half step, boom. Okay, let's work on that other side. Shifting here and half step. The jab's already out, so it's already disguising the foot movement. So the one thing we do is really close the distance fast. So once I was here, I shifted here, and if I miss or they block and shift off, I just pull here, bang, and hands right here. What did we just do? Geig Sadaichi, first Bonkai, half step, step through Oizuki. Kumite, Kata, this is what you need to do to understand both, okay? Find that balance. Till the next time, we're going to start working on talking about how to gap timing, okay? How to counter, find the timing in between techniques so we can put counters in. A lot more taisubaki shifting. Take these two moves and train them, work them over and over and over until they become a second nature. You can't think, oh, I should half step. You've already been hit, or that person's already gone out of your range or shifted. It's got to be one of those things where, you just feel it and move. And that takes, countless tries to first become familiar with it, and then to understand it, and then to ingrain it into your body, okay? All right, thanks for watching this video. Keep your eyes out. There'll be more to come. And, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Stay safe. I'll talk to you soon. arigatou gozaimashita.